such a long time since I have been on the channel. I have been away adventuring. Things look a little different from what they usually do because on January 1st, I got on a plane to the south of Chile and have been here ever since. Some of you might know this already from following a little bit along on Instagram stories and from what I've said in past videos, but I'm originally from Chile. This is where I was born. I lived here for almost 11 years and then we immigrated to the United States, and my dad works in tourism, specifically tourism that has to deal a lot with outdoor recreation and specifically fly fishing. And the opportunity came up for me to work on a fly fishing experience which involves a boat, which involves the Chilean fjords, and I thought, you know, that's an opportunity I can't really pass up and say no to, especially this time in my life where I have some flexibility. If you're new here and you don't know my deal, I am a freelance writer and barista in New York City, so I have quite a bit of ability to just kind of drop everything. So that's kind of what I did, and because it's been 7 years since I've been back to Chile, I wanted to really take the opportunity to enjoy being here a little bit. I haven't been back in so long, and I'm lucky because my dad, you know, he works in the hospitality tourism space, and so there's essentially like a lot of lodging that I have the ability to stay in. There's a little bit more space to nest and kind of go from thing to thing without worrying like, well, how are we gonna make that work? So in summary, what have I been doing? So January 1st, I left New York City, packed my life into a suitcase, and met up with my mom in the Atlanta airport, and we flew south. Very, very, very south. And then on January 2nd, we arrived to Santiago, Chile, Chile's capital city, its biggest metropolitan city, and we stayed with some family friends. My mom's high school best friend. We had the best time. They really rolled out the red carpet for me. We saw some incredible sights in Santiago. We also went to some new local like pop-ups and food halls, and we had just the best time. It's obviously summer in the southern hemisphere, so I've been wearing my t-shirts, I've been wearing my swimsuit, but we were only in Santiago for 2 nights, and after that it was time for us to fly south again to Balmaceda, which is in the Chilean Patagonia. Then we drove to Puerto, which, if you caught that, it's a port, right? When you have a boat, you have to have a port, and that's where we met up with my dad. From there on, I lived on the boat for 2 weeks, which was wild. The first week was kind of more the boat's training week. It was more to really make sure that we had our bearings as a team. What I was doing on board basically was acting as a marine wildlife and bird guide. So basically I've become a pro at marine birds in the south of Chile. If you want to see a Magellanic penguin, like, I'm your girl. But I was also there to be a translator between clients and our other crew on board, since I'm bilingual. I was also there to help with laundry, dinner, breakfast, and lunch service, as well as anything else that was needed on board. So that was me. After that first week, I said goodbye to all of our old friends and new friends, the friends we made along the way. Also my mom, who was flying back to Montana. It was sad to see her go. We had done all of that trip up to that point together, so saying goodbye, definitely, it was a little bittersweet. You know, I could keep doing the work I was there to do and learn a lot, but she's such a comfort and such a fun lady, so that was a little sad to see her go. But I still had my dad. Second week was a lot harder. The whole week it was just, it felt like the stakes were like up here. I was planning on vlogging that week, but I had to scrap it because, quite frankly, it ended up being so stressful. I was vlogging and everything. Currently at the store doing our run for the week, and with the 2 captains. They're over there watching me. We got a whole ton of stuff. This is just the first cart, so that's why I kind of want to stress, like, it was incredibly magical. I was so lucky. It was such a nepotism experience. Like, I could not have deserved to be at sea in that way in a million years. Like, there's no reason why I would get to see those amazing, beautiful marvel of a thing and not somebody else, you know. Like, it's just random luck. It's just purely that my dad works in the industry and was able to take me and provide a job for me to do. I want to say that I'm like so appreciative, but also it's still work and it's still business. So that second week could not have been more different from the first week, which felt like a dream. I had never been in that situation where you're dealing with such high stakes in terms of hospitality and business client relationship. I obviously work in a coffee shop. I'm quite used to hospitality most of the time, but not in this way. We finally got off the boat after that second week. Me and my dad were able to road trip to Patagonia, further in to a fly fishing lodge that we used to stay at all the time when I was young, because it's managed by my uncle. My cousins would usually come here and spend the season with him, staying here in like the staff quarters. And I haven't been here since I was 19, so it's incredibly special. It's one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and not only that, but it's so familiar. Like, I walked in and just like the smell reminds me of being really young and being here and learning to tie flies, run around and ride horses, just be able to have access to such incredible nature, and specifically like also nature professionals, because a lot of the people who work here are all Chilean guides who know the area, who know the terrain, the landscape, the fishing, the horses. Like, people are just like so good at what they do here, and being able to come and like be a guest is insane, and I feel again so appreciative for this. But yeah, we've been here for the last 4 days. I have a couple days left here, 2 full days left here before we go to Puerto Varas, which is where I lived for like 11 years. So I'm really excited to spend a little bit of time there before I go back to New York. I've been here mostly practicing my fishing with my dad, bird watching. Yeah, it's been really active. I mean, I've gotten to ride horses again, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm an incredible gifted horseman. And being back in this place, it does something to you. It's very grounding. Would love to be back, hopefully in less than 7 years. Me and my dad have been having a really special time together. You know, it's been a really long time since I've been in Chile with my dad, especially as like a fully developed adult. And I think that, you know, when you're younger and you're a teen, you don't necessarily lead with the curiosity about, you know, all the things around you. You're more interested in what's like right in front of you, and, you know, puberty. Now that I'm a fully functioning adult, I care greatly about like what he has to share with me about his place, how they started this business, also his career path, and also his relationship to nature and his country. And getting to share that in a really like intimate way has brought us a lot closer together. We really have had a lot of quality time together. And also my cousins are working here. I don't know if I said that, but my cousins, who I grew up next door neighbors with, were more like siblings than anything on the come up in life. I'm now with like the people who bring me like so much comfort, and my aunt's here, my uncle's here, they're all working, so I don't necessarily get as much access to them as I would like in a perfect world, but it's still so much better than the regular scheduled programming, which is I never see them ever. So this has been so special, and I want to share this last little leg of the trip with you guys before I get back to New York, which I also miss, because I have a feeling that after this vlog, people are gonna be like, Aline must not like New York. She loves nature and she wants to be wild and free. So today it looks like me and my dad are going to head out to fish in about an hour. I'm gonna work on a piece for my Substack, hopefully get that up. And if not, the winds are supposed to be really aggressive today, so I don't think that we'll be able to stay out for as long. We'll probably come back and I'll be able to get some work done in the afternoon. There's obviously some clients here, so I can't just put a camera aggressively in everybody's face, but I will be taking you guys along.
And the worst, Aline, the more I pumped, the more the water was rising, and I was like this, Aline.
Okay, so after having a little bit of a productive morning, we are heading out. Come with us, daddy-daughter fishing day, and hopefully we catch some stuff before the wind gets too aggressive. Since we're out in the middle of nowhere, it tends to do that. Yeah, just getting my fishing gear on.
excited.
Tal vez en el description del video voy a poner the website. Update time. It was a bad fishing day. What do you have to say?
Tough.
Tough day.
Yeah, we made lots of casts, no bites, and we couldn't see fish rising either. So that tells us that there's a drop in the barometric pressure, and the fish are down. So we decided to stop early.
So we've cut our day a little short, even though I don't mean to brag, my casting was really good. So you heard it here first. Now we are going to get gooseberries from a gooseberry patch, and they're on the way back to the ranch. We're going to have a stop and have a snack.
Yes, we have to. It's mandatory.
So we're back at the lodge right now. I'm about to go get some extra work done while most of the clients are still out fishing. I'm gonna try to get a Substack piece live, and yeah, just feel good about that. And then I'm probably gonna come back here and get ready for dinner. So let's go do that. It's me again, another time jump. I'm in my dinner outfit. This is what I'm wearing. This is my dad's bed, so if it looks a little hideous, it wasn't me who made it was him. This is my little outfit. I've even got some little red socks on that match the hat, which I think is pretty cute. And now I'm gonna go to dinner time. My blush looks a little intense actually, now that I'm looking at it. But I do have blush blindness, so you know, we can't help the conditions that we're born with. So I'm gonna go to dinner. My Substack piece is scheduled, so that's great. I did have a great catch up with my cousin who is working here, so we don't always get to like chat as much as we want to, so that was lovely. And yeah, now we're gonna go have some food and finish out the day.
This happens in every sphere that is important to the average person's life, in politics, in everything. Good side. One of the commentators in So We Use Zara who was copying it, I was like, this is how misinformation spreads.
I don't have too much time to give you the whole rundown for this morning. I'm going on a horseback ride with my cousins, so they're waiting for me. I don't want to keep them waiting, so let's go on my final horseback ride of the season. I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite things to do here, and the views are just phenomenal, and I can't wait to take you guys along with me. It's something that I grew up doing and I never get to do, so I'm gonna run and do that, and I'll talk to you guys when I get back to the lodge. Hey everybody, so it is much later, you can probably tell by my appearance, but the horseback ride was so fun, and we had a lovely lunch, and now we've just been kind of taking it easy. Me and my dad are currently packing for the next leg of our journey. Are you excited for the next leg of our journey?
Absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, have to get everything from here into these 2 suitcases, and also everything from those drawers. But look how cute. We took a little Polaroid of the 3 of us, and I think it's so precious. We were originally gonna go fishing again, but we've gone fishing every single day since we've been here, and yesterday was the least luck that we had on our whole fishing routine. I think there was one day where I caught 6 fish in like a few hours, and my dad caught like 4, even though he wasn't even fishing. He was just really, every now and then he'll drop the fly in the water and would take stuff out. It's been nice to take advantage that the lodge is empty because all the clients are out fishing. Honestly, it's been nice to just be family. I'll give you an update in a little bit. Voy a decir hola.
Hola, tía.
Thank you, Didi. Hello. So it is obviously much later in the day. It's fully night. I think it's almost 11 p.m. It was the last night at the lodge, so usually on the last night with a group they do a traditional lamb roast in the quincho, which is a traditional Chilean like entertainment space, party space. It's pretty classical. Sorry, I'm taking off my makeup, so please ignore me. But it was delicious. It was so lovingly prepared. Everything tasted so good, and it was lovely. I finished off the night having some really lovely intimate conversation with my cousins, which we all know is my favorite way to communicate with people, is like quietly in a corner of the room. You don't know part of my lore, but basically me and Michelle, we are best friends obviously, but it didn't begin just with us. We were part of a foursome growing up because our parents, my cousin's parents and me and my sister's parents, they married like each other, right? My parents met at my cousin's parents' wedding. My dad's brother married my mom's sister, right? That's the whole gag. And growing up, we lived right next door to each other, and we spent a lot of time together. Since my dad and uncle work in fly fishing, they would usually be gone for long stretches during the fly fishing season, and my mom and my aunt would usually like combine a lot of meals, playtime, all of that with each other, so that we would just be like 4 kids, 1 mom, 1 aunt combo, and it worked out really well. When we left and immigrated, it was definitely like a complete change in the dynamic. Like, it was really a devastating loss to both parties, you know, the people who leave and the people who stay behind, and we don't get to see each other as much as we want to because it's a really extremely long distance. We're lucky that, like, you know, modern technology is great and we get to keep tabs on what the other people are doing, but it is not always easy because you want to see more of the people that you love. Hopefully this is now like a rhythm of some kind and it kicks off a new stretch, because truly I hadn't seen Dominique, my cousin, in 7 years. Last time that I saw Sebastian was in 2019, so not as long. They came and visited me in New York, so that was the last time I saw Sebi, but it's been a while, so it's been, you know, a lot to catch up on. Now I'm getting ready because even though I'm mostly packed, there's going to be an early rise tomorrow because we have to leave early because we're also taking 2 clients with us to the airport, and the airport in Balmaceda is a 4-hour drive away. So I'm gonna take off my makeup, hop into bed, and get some much needed rest so that we can have another little travel day tomorrow. Alright. Hello, and welcome to our last day in Chile together. That went by fast, didn't it? So, update time. new surroundings. I'm currently in Puerto Varas, which is in the Lake District of southern Chile, and this is actually where I lived for almost 11 years of my whole little life. Pretty cool to be back. It is so surreal. Everything is so beautiful and lush because it's summertime here. We're finally out of the Patagonia, so we get a little bit of the heat of summertime, not so much of those brutal winds. It is so gorgeous and we're having the best time already. It is a little sad and strange to be here without Michelle, my sister, just because obviously we were raised here together, and also my cousins. Everything here kind of reminds me of them, and it's just a little strange to be here without them. Me and my dad arrived about 2 days ago. We finally got in around 6:45. We had some food to pick up because we were going to go to my grandparents' house the following day, so then we just had to rush immediately from the airport to Puerto Dulce, which is a very cute prepared food store. Like, they do everything like to go, and they have some places to sit, and they have cakes and empanadas and quiche and also packaged goods. I bought, and it's what the camera is sitting on right now, but I bought a jar of manjar con lucuma, which is just my favorite thing in the world. If you guys don't know, like, lucuma is a Chilean fruit or South American fruit that has a really lovely nutty quality without being a nut. Here it's traditionally added to like ice creams with manjar or dulce de leche, and also can be jarred and added to cakes and things. As I said, we were picking up food to take to my grandparents' house, so we got a lot of empanadas de horno, and we got a brazo de reina, which is basically a sponge cake that's in a jelly roll, and it's a light vanilla cake, and then it's filled with manjar, which is, if you don't know, Chile's dulce de leche, which can be confusing when you're at first learning to talk with other Spanish speakers because they will not sometimes know what you're talking about. We also got a raspberry kuchen, which is one of my favorite things that they make here in Chile. The Chilean kuchen has basically evolved from a German kuchen via colonization. We have kind of put our own twist on it. We have like a custard kuchen, and we also have a crumb kuchen. They're different, and we got a custard raspberry kuchen, and it's to die for. It has a bizcocho at the bottom, I think a cross between a cookie and a cake, and then raspberries, and then the custard is cooked on top. Usually there's like a bubbling effect on the top of the custard. So good, so good. Anyway, so we took all of that to go yesterday to my grandparents' house, which was another long drive. I think it was like three and a half hours. And I did try yesterday to do a little vlogging. It just ended up being hard because, one, my grandparents, I'm not gonna be shoving a camera in their face. No, I'm okay. I think I'm gonna skip that. And secondly, they're also getting older. We all know what that's like. I mean, time passes by if we want it to or not. The reality is I haven't been here in 7 years, and so things look and feel different with them in the home. Like, it's just a different thing. So there's a lot of emotions that come up that I'm not really going to get into because they're just really personal. But it was beautiful to be back at the house. My grandparents, they still live on their retired fishing lodge. If you haven't put the pieces together already, we come from a long line of fly fishermen and people who work in hospitality. My dad does this, my grandpa did this, and they built their fly fishing lodge, which they hosted clients, and they still live there. It is really just a beautiful place. And I was sharing pictures with Ellis, my partner, last night, and they were saying, oh wow, the decor looks so much like your home in New York, your apartment. And the truth is like, it's true. The home had a really big impact on me and Michelle, our taste, and what brings us comfort, and it was such a special place to spend time as a child. I mean, like, talk about the freedom to run around and get lost in the woods. I mean, it's such a unique experience, one that, again, so lucky to have. So many people grow up and they don't have wild spaces like that, let alone, like, you know, a house with several big rooms to run around and be like, oh, there's something new to discover around every corner. And yeah, so we spent the day there. I was so lucky. My aunt also turned up, my dad's sister. She put such a beautiful care and intention into the day and into the lunch. We went and did a little walk around the surrounding area, and we went to my grandma's old vegetable garden. And then later in the day, when my grandma woke up from her nap, we all had once. Once is a Chilenos version of basically afternoon tea / dinner. It's like a dinner replacement usually in a lot of South American cultures, lunch is usually the biggest meal of the day, and then dinner is usually something lighter. In Chile, once is very common, so you usually get breads and some kind of spread. Palta, which is avocado. We also have jams and ham and cheese usually, and then some sort of sweet huggeee or a dessert. And then we got on the road. We did stop at an artesanía place, like a little traditional gift shop for like traditionally made goods. And my dad had known the owner since there was like nothing, no even paved road, no nothing. We did stop and I was like, he's not gonna be here, it's a Sunday. My dad was like, oh, he's gonna be here. I ended up getting some gifts for Michelle and Ellis there, and then we listened to a podcast, and then we arrived home. Now this morning, it's been a slower start, which is kind of nice, and it's our last full day and our only full day in Puerto Varas. So we're gonna enjoy the town. We're about to head out for breakfast. I'm really excited to see the sights. We might stop by and see my old home, like my childhood house that my dad still owns, but we rent out. And I'm really excited to see it. I haven't been inside since I was 10, so that's kind of crazy. Of course, it might bring up some tender stuff, but like we'll just have to see what happens once I'm inside. And then I'm also getting some gifts today, so popping into a lot of little shops, and hopefully we're going to go down to the costanera, which is like the little coastline of the lake. And yeah, my outfit's this little black tank top, this shirt, and I've got some khakis on just because it's just a light, like low 60-degree day today. So I am currently alone. My dad and I had a very lovely breakfast. It was so delicious. We shared a pan integral con palta and also some scrambled eggs with bacon and cheese. It was delicious. We had some great coffee this morning, and he is going to the bank and meeting up with a friend, and I am wandering the town doing a little sightseeing, a little window shopping, and yeah, that's currently what I'm up to. Hello, an update from your favorite traveling team. We are currently out of the downtown area and we are picking up ice cream, or we just picked up ice cream rather, and we are headed to my aunt, your sister's house, for lunch. Yeah. Oh, that's very good. Okay, so we're back at the Airbnb. We're about to head out again. We just got back maybe 30 minutes ago. Do your peace sign. And now we're about to head out again. We just came from looking at my childhood home, which was great, but also brought up a lot of mixed emotions, like deep sadness and nostalgia. But you know, still very interesting to go. It felt very special. I took a lot of pictures, shared with Michelle, so that felt really nice. And now we're on our way again. Where are we going, papito?
To la mesa tropera. Pizza.
Pizza. Ah, la mesa tropera, but they also do other things, not just pizza.
Sí.
Yeah. So we're gonna walk, which has been really lovely. Our Airbnb is in a great location, so we can go pretty much everywhere by foot if we're going to the downtown area. So that's what's really nice. It's currently like 8 o'clock, so we'll get on the road. this actually brings us to the end of the video and the vlog and the trip. I'm currently speaking to you from my New York apartment, so you can't get much more finished than that. This vlog has been really long, so I'm not gonna bore you with too much of my final thoughts. This trip is gonna stick with me for a really long time. It's felt more important with every passing day, and I miss it already, honestly. I feel really thankful for my dad, who essentially like my guide through this trip in general. He is such a knowledgeable person. It's why he's so good at what he does. At any given time, he could tell me the birds, the bugs, the name of the trees, the flowers, the grass, native and non-native plants. He could tell me whose indigenous land we were on. And it was really just so impressive, but also just a really valuable resource. Even though the last time I was in Chile, I was 19 years old, I did not feel like an adult. And especially looking back, I don't think or consider myself an adult. I feel like I've come away with just a really different relationship to the country that I'm from. A new respect, a new love. It was always there, but it just took everything to a whole nother level. I'm going to link a couple things down below. First and foremost, I'm going to be linking my dad's travel agency. His business does typically specify in fly fishing and outdoor recreation, but as you saw, there are a lot of things that we did in Chile that didn't involve any of those things. So if you are considering planning a trip, I would go to the best of the best. And as far as I'm concerned, that's my dad. He's incredibly well connected in the country. He's so well versed in wineries, hotels, north, south, central Chile, wherever you're planning on going. But I'm just gonna put it down there just in case, because quite frankly, I know there might be somebody watching who is planning a trip to Chile or would like to go to Chile at some point, and he is such a valuable resource and so good at his job. So if you have a Chile travel need in the future, please think of him. Personally, I was thrilled with my experience and he planned the whole damn thing. So, and secondly, I'm going to put some resources for how to support some immigrant populations that are at risk right now in the United States. Personally, I don't feel comfortable highlighting my immigrant experience while so many of my immigrant brothers and sisters are persecuted right now and vilified in the media. I think that it's one of the most devastating and evil things I've seen, and we've seen a lot of them in the last year alone. So I'm going to put some resources down below. Please check them out if you're somebody who is troubled like I am by what we're seeing in the news every day. And yeah, I think I'm going to be writing something about my trip and my relationship with Chile on my Substack in the next few weeks, so please look out for that. If you're not subscribed to my Substack, what are you doing? I have been posting every single week since the new year, so you're missing out on some thoughtful pieces, if I do say so myself. I think that they're good, and that's hard for me to say because posting, you're writing online, does make you feel like you're being actively attacked by a wild animal, so any support you can give me over there is incredibly appreciated. I am also, of course, on Instagram and on TikTok. Thank you so much for watching. Viva Chile! I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.